The COLA, otherwise known as the Cost of Living Adjustment for Social Security beneficiaries, has been released. Typically, this is a highly anticipated number for Social Security beneficiaries, as they're always wondering, hey, I wonder how much our raise is going to be for next year. I could really use a little bit of extra cash. It's just like a job. At the end of the year, your boss pulls you aside and says, hey, great job this year. I'm going to give you a raise of blank percent. Well, it's exactly the same thing for Social Security beneficiaries. So if you're someone receiving retirement or disability benefits, please listen up, as this video is for you. So let's get right into it. But hey everybody, my name is Matt. Welcome back to another video. I really appreciate your support here. If you're new or you're not subscribed for any reason, welcome to the channel. But hey, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And thank you so much. Let's get right into it and talk about the COLA, Cost of Living Adjustment. All right. Also, really quickly, I'll preface this video by saying, if you're not sitting down, you may want to sit down for this video. I'm winking, wink, wink. All right, so it's estimated that roughly 70 million Americans receiving Social Security benefits will be receiving this increase to benefits as of January 2021. All right. Here it is, the big number everybody's waiting for. It's a big one. It's massive. It's a whopper. It is coming in at 1.3%. Wow. I mean, I don't know if we should consider that an insult or a slap in the face, but that is absolutely ridiculous. 1.3%. I don't know about you, but do you think prices have increased, or I should say, the cost of living has increased by more than 1.3% this year going into 2021? I would vote yes, absolutely. I don't know about you guys, but where I live, the cost of living in my area has certainly gone up more than 1.3%. In fact, I was actually just at the grocery store the other day with my wife, Corey, and we were actually standing in the produce section looking at apples. I can't believe the price of apples. It was like $4.50 for a pound. Do you realize how many apples you get for a pound? You get about 4 apples in a pound. Well, that's over $1 an apple. That's a ton for apples. I mean, I don't know about you, but I remember not that long ago, apples were not that expensive, especially this time of year when it's the fall and, the harvest is happening. Typically, prices go down when there's an abundance of supply. Well, apparently not the case when it comes to all of this. So, absolutely, the cost of living has gone up significantly more than 1.3%. So many of you may be wondering, how do they determine this number? Like, where does this number come from? That's ridiculous. Do we just have a bunch of guys sitting around a table and throwing out numbers and they just pull a number out of the air and say, all right, it's going to be 1.3% this year? Well, close. I mean, that's pretty dang close, but no, that's actually not how it is. These numbers, the cost of living adjustment, is pegged off of what they call the CPI, Consumer Price Index. And basically, that's a measure of inflation. Well, as we know, these people are absolutely delusional and they think that there's no inflation in this country. Well, all of us who are actually living out in Main Street America, we know that there is massive inflation and price rising, right? There's a lot of prices that are rising right now. Of course, there's deflation in some areas, but for the everyday person out in the world, going to the grocery store, putting gas in our car, spending money on normal things that all of us do, prices have gone up significantly just this year. So when I saw this number, I literally laughed out loud because I thought, you gotta be kidding me. 1.3%. That is, to say it bluntly, that's pathetic. I mean, that is literally pathetic because so many of you who receive Social Security benefits, you rely on these benefits, right? You rely on the cost of living adjustment each and every year because you're excited to see how much extra am I going to get next year? I need a little bump to my benefits. My cost of living has gone up. Therefore, I need an increase to my income, right? I mean, it's just like any job. I mean, every employer, not every employer, but most employers give a raise to their employees just based on their cost of living because cost of living goes up every single year. But I would say it goes up far more than 1.3%, especially this year. But anyway, so it's actually said that retirees, people who are receiving Social Security retirement benefits, your average your average raise is going to be, wait for it, $20, $20. Wow, $20 in a month. You better start thinking hard now to how you're going to spend your extra $20. Wow. Yeah, so the average retiree benefit is going to be $1,543. Okay. Disability beneficiaries, here you go. Wait for it. Once again, your average increase is going to be $16. Wow. I mean, this is nuts. I don't know. What can you buy with that? Maybe a couple packs of gum. Maybe, I don't know, a loaf of bread. Maybe a pack of bananas. A couple bananas, you think? I don't know. $16 for those of you on disability on average. So now, you disability beneficiaries, your average benefit is going to go up to $1,277. Whew. You better start thinking hard how you're going to spend that money as of January when this new raise goes into effect. I don't know about you guys, but if I were at a job and my boss pulled me aside and said, "Hey, Matt, you did a great job this year. I'm really proud of you. I'm going to give you a raise of 1.3%. I'd look at him and say, "You know what? Thanks, but I'm out of here. See ya." And I would just take a hike. Yeah, not for me. I feel like this is an absolute insult, especially to these groups of people going through what we are right now. They continue to dangle the carrot of this next stimulus check in front of everybody's nose, but yet, of course, all of us know here we are in mid-October, and they have not performed yet. So, and now to put the icing on the cake with insulting everybody with this little tiny raise in benefits. Here's another thing that I want to mention. One thing they're not telling us is what is going to be the increase to Medicare benefits, like Medicare premium benefits. You know, that's something that we don't know quite yet, but our Medicare benefits, or the premiums, what I should say is the premium payment, going to be the same as it was for 2020. Well, we don't know that yet, but I would be willing to put a bunch of money on it and say no. The benefit is going to be more. I keep saying benefit. I should say premium. The premium payment for Medicare. Now, when I say Medicare, I'm referring to Medicare Part B and Part D for those of you who have elected for Medicare Part D. Now, as we know too, not everybody who receives Social Security benefits is receiving Medicare Part B. As you remember, when you started receiving your benefits, you were, after a certain amount of time, 2 years, you were eligible to enroll in Medicare Part B, right? So at the time, you may have opted out for a couple years, or you may have opted in right away. But remember, if you're someone who opted out of those benefits, Medicare Part B, when they were available to you, each year that goes by, they add an additional penalty for every year that you do not take those Medicare Part B benefits. So the moral of the story is, do you think the premium payment on Medicare Part B and Part D, if you're receiving those benefits, do you think that is going to stay static going into 2021, or do you think they're going to raise it? I'd be willing to bet they're going to raise that premium payment. So the moral of the story is this little tiny pathetic raise that they gave us on the Social Security benefit is probably going to be evaporated in Medicare benefits, Medicare premiums. So in other words, net, at the end of the day, you're probably either going to have, you can probably either call it a wash or maybe even a loss. Because I'm guessing the Medicare premiums are going to go up probably more than $20 for those of you on retirement benefits, and probably more than $16 for those of you on disability. Of course, it's probably going to be a little bit different for each of you, simply for the fact of, did you opt into those Medicare Part B benefits right away when they were presented to you, or did you opt out? If you opted out for a few years, of course, you're probably going to be paying that little bit of a penalty, so your premium is going to be, by default, a little bit higher. So anyway, this is a long-winded video talking about this little tiny raise that they're giving everybody to Medicare, to Social Security benefits, but I hope this explains it a little bit further, and yeah, this is going to be pretty sad going forward, especially for all of you who were really looking forward to a little bump in your benefits going into 21. Well, yep, that's exactly what it's going to be. A little tiny baby bump in your benefits, if at all, if Medicare doesn't come in and swoop all those that little benefit away from you. So, I'm feeling for you, everybody. I'm here for you. I'll be back later this afternoon with another stimulus update, but I wanted to bring this to you right away because I know a lot of you have been waiting and looking forward to this number. Sorry to bring the bad news to you, but wow, yeah, this is not what we were looking for. But anyway, enjoy your day, and I'll catch you a little bit later this afternoon in the next stimulus update. If you're still watching, leave any comments or questions below, and subscribe if you're new here. Thanks, everybody.